Okay, so for this deep dive, we're going to be looking at something pretty interesting, something that brings together a few things you might not think go together.
Definitely an interesting mix.
We're talking AI, we're talking DOGE, and we're talking COBOL.
Not exactly the usual trio.
And we're going to try to figure out what links these three seemingly completely unrelated things. Le podcast de Philippe. That's what we do.
Deep dives.
Exactly. So we've got some sources. We're going to dig in and see if we can uncover what's going on with this plan to revamp the Social Security Administration systems, which, and this is the kicker, rely on COBOL. And while we're at it, we'll see how AI is already playing a part in, well, modernizing, I guess you'd call it, these kinds of old school computer systems. Oh, and hey, quick favor. If you're digging this and want to see us hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, that subscribe button would be much appreciated. Seriously. It helps a ton. All right, so let's start with the heart of it all. The SSA's IT infrastructure.
Yeah, so picture this. 60 million lines of COBOL code. That's what the SSA's entire operation runs on.
60 million. That's almost hard to even imagine.
It's a lot. And COBOL, right? It's this language from way back like the 1950s, built for crunching huge amounts of data on those big mainframe computers.
So it's like ancient history in the tech world.
Pretty much. But here's the thing, it's still mission critical. This code is what's issuing your Social Security number, managing all those benefit payments.
Wow. It's kind of crazy that something so important relies on something, well, that old. Didn't they try to update this stuff before? I vaguely remember something about that.
You're right. Back in 2017, there was a big push to modernize the system. They figured it would take about 5 years to get it done.
5 years. Seems like a long time.
Well, yeah, these things are complicated. And then the pandemic hit in 2020, and, well, priorities shifted. They had to deal with more immediate stuff, and those long-term modernization plans got put on the back burner.
Makes sense. So now we have this new player, right? DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency. What's their take on all of this?
They're coming in with a pretty bold plan.
Bold how?
Their goal is to migrate the whole shebang, move everything from COBOL to something more modern, like Java.
And how long are they giving themselves to do this?
A few months.
Wait, months? We're talking about a system that's been built over decades, and they're talking months. The last upgrade attempt was supposed to take 5 years, right? That seems, I don't know, maybe a bit rushed. What could go wrong with that? What are the experts saying?
Yeah, they're definitely raising some red flags. The big worry is system failures, like major crashes that could mess up Social Security payments for a lot of people.
Okay, so beyond just delays and stuff, actual problems with the payments themselves?
Exactly. People getting the wrong amount, too much, too little, or even nothing at all. These systems are super complex, and they need to be tested really, really carefully after any changes, or else, well, you can see how that could be a disaster.
Yeah, no kidding. So what's the plan to avoid all this? How are they going to pull this off?
Well, here's where AI comes in.
Okay, yeah, we were going to get to that. So DOGE thinks AI is the answer.
They're betting on it, yeah. The idea is that AI, specifically generative AI, can do the heavy lifting, figure out this massive amount of COBOL code, translate it, and basically do the whole migration process a whole lot faster.
And this isn't just like a theoretical idea, right? There are actual examples of AI being used to modernize COBOL systems out there in the real world.
Oh, yeah, definitely. IBM, for example, they've developed this thing called WatsonX Code Assistant for Z. It's basically an AI tool that can automatically translate COBOL to Java.
Sounds like a magic wand.
Kind of, but the really neat part is that it makes sure the translated code still works seamlessly with the original mainframe systems. So it's not just about speed, it's about making a smooth transition without breaking things.
Smart. Any other examples?
Oh yeah. There's a project called Z Future with T-Systems. They worked on the big industrial company that needed to modernize a critical COBOL application that was used across tons of factories.
So a real-world, high-stakes situation.
Absolutely. And get this, they managed to automate 99.5% of the migration to the cloud.
Wow. Almost fully automated. That's impressive. What about IBM? Any other cool stuff they're doing?
They've got this approach called Big Graph AI.
Okay, what's that?
It's basically AI that analyzes how data flows through these COBOL applications. It figures out exactly what needs to be translated to a new language and what can be left behind.
So it's kind of like a super smart filter.
Exactly. Makes the whole process much more efficient and focused. So it's not just about blindly translating everything.
So all these examples, they're actually showing that AI can do this, can modernize these old COBOL systems. But what about the potential downsides? What are some of the risks, especially with DOGE's super fast timeline?
That's a big question. I mean, on one hand, yeah, we've seen AI work its magic.
Yeah.
But DOGE's approach, it's all about speed, speed, speed. And some experts are worried that this urgency might lead to mistakes.
Cutting corners, basically.
Maybe. And when you're dealing with something as essential as Social Security, any mistakes can have huge consequences.
Right, people depend on these systems. So, to sum it all up for our listeners, we have this old but essential COBOL code running the SSA. We have DOGE, who wants to modernize it super fast using AI. And we have real-world examples of AI successfully tackling COBOL modernization.
Yep. That's the situation in a nutshell.
So what's the big takeaway here? What connects all these pieces? The AI, the DOGE, and the COBOL.
The key link is that DOGE's plan hinges on the idea that AI can handle this huge task in a tiny amount of time. They're basically putting all their eggs in the AI basket. It's a gamble, a high-stakes one.
A gamble with a lot of people's livelihoods on the line. I guess the big question for all of us is, when it comes to something as crucial as Social Security, is speed the most important thing? Or is it better to go slower, be more careful, even if it takes longer to get to the finish line?
It's a tough question. No easy answers.
Sorry.
But it's definitely something we all need to think about.
Absolutely, food for thought. And hey, if you're finding Le Podcast de Philippe thought-provoking, don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. We're trying to hit that 1,000 subscriber milestone. Every subscription helps. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We'll see you next time.
See you then.
Bye.